funky and a little more casual. It does give it a really unique differentiation, having the turquoise and that big, big station of turquoise blended in back to the Spiny Oyster. So here's the scoop. Oh, just as a quick reminder, just so you'll know, don't wait on this one. Number one, it's limited. Number two, the price ends at midnight tonight. Tomorrow you go, oh, I really wanted that Spiny Oyster. It's so cool, that big drama necklace. You're gonna see it's gonna be, what, $200 tomorrow. So that's a lot of savings right now. All right, so let's move on. A little more casual, fun. You know what's really funny, Jay? This one takes me back, and it's gonna date me big time. But I used to wear puka beads when I was in high school.
And I'm the one that was making them.
Well, then I bought, look, I was shopping with you at a very young age.
Actually, that's how Spiny and I got together in the first place. You know, we were turquoise. We had access to turquoise, so we were making everybody in my day and age. You're younger than I am, but everybody. There's not a single person I knew that wasn't wearing either a turquoise necklace or a puka shell necklace.
Yeah, puka beads.
Yeah, and so that's how I got really involved with Spiny. For people that haven't shopped with us, don't know the stories. We would go down. I was in college, and we would go down to San Carlos, and we'd go to Guaymas. We'd live on the beach. We had this old beat-up Volkswagen van. That's back in the day when my hair was substantially longer, and we would go down there and we would dive. So we would dive. The only thing we would take is a cooler full of beer. That was it, and our dive gear. The only thing that we went into town for was to refill the tanks,
Oh my God.
And then we would spearfish and we'd get everything. And the Spiny Oyster, there would be piles and piles of Spiny Oyster on the beach because the local people, they would harvest the oyster. It's a delicious oyster. They would harvest the oyster for the meat, but they really didn't have any use for the shell. Well, us being innovative jewelry makers, and the age we were, we would load up that Volkswagen van to where it was almost like the Scooby-Doo mobile, right? Where, today, if you did that, you would be arrested. I mean, they would never let you cross the border. I mean, they would, you would actually, you would be a criminal. But what we did is we kept bringing it back. We'd go down and dive, and then we would bring back our next load, and then we would put it in our jewelry, and we would start carving these like the puka shell beads, but the same concept. But we were using Spiny Oyster and axing it with turquoise.
Oh, that's
so
great.
it became so popular. We started, we'd go, okay, we got to make another trip. So we went on another dive trip, and we got down there, and all of a sudden, no shells on the beach whatsoever. So they figured out what we were doing with it. And then that was the end of that. No more free material. Then you had to buy it after that.
Well, you know what's really funny? I hope puka beads make a big comeback, but this to me has a little bit of that cool vibe. Because even I swear, I hope young people start wearing them again. Maybe we'll start a trend right here, Jay. You and I together are going to start getting younger people to wear puka beads again. You got to get back into that, Jay, I swear. Because there's something vibey and cool about it. It reminds me sort of like California cool, surfer cool. And this necklace, swear to you, kind of has that same feeling. And you know what I think it is, Jay? I think it's not only the white of the Spiny, but also the shapes that you used on this.
Well, I like this. I like the color contrast on it. Again, this just brings back, I designed this. It brings back so many good memories. Love the combination of this. And funny enough, Suzanne, one of these days I'm going to bring it. And I still have my original turquoise necklace that I cut, the very first design I ever made. And I wore that thing for 20 years. I never took it off. So these are things that are really timeless. They're ageless. You can have fun with them. They're great layering pieces, but it's something that you can wear on a casual basis, and anybody can wear this.
Yes. Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, I think, we were talking about this earlier, and it's true, all 3 hours. We have some truly spectacular looks in this show. It is not your run-of-the-mill jewelry, and I think that's why you're loving it today. That's why it's been so successful. That's why Jay has been here for such a long time, because this is fun. This is what, if you love jewelry, this is what we kind of eat and breathe. We want something that sets us apart. Like I said, I went to a fundraiser. It was bizarrely, it was a really fun one. It was a mahjong mahjong to raise money for a local museum today. And so I go in, there's a whole bunch of women there, you know, and you know, nobody wants to go in and go, oh, look, you're in my same outfit I bought at the mall. And I don't want that to happen with jewelry too. And there is definitely, my friends know what I do, and a lot of my friends were there, and they would expect no less. You know, they kind of had high expectations for me when I roll in to be wearing something special. This is the kind of thing that makes us feel special. Why do we wear jewelry? It's adornment. Let's be honest, girls, you love the attention. Don't you love it when someone comes up and says, I love that necklace. Where did you get it? Or at least you know you've got admirers looking at the necklace. And this has that vibe to it. It has that, wow, that is so special. You know, did you go on some really exotic, cool vacation? And, you know, did you get it on some island? Did you find it somewhere in some cool store? And you're like, oh yeah, it's just one of my pieces, you know, oh, just a little something. But it's so beautifully done. And also notice, because I hid part of it, I'm gonna hold this out so you can see the full length, basically. Jay, you used a ton of turquoise on this. It's just not the bottom station right here. You've got 4 stations of a lot of turquoise.
You know, and what I went with this is I went with a different, like the color contrast. I was, you know, I wanted a little bit of symmetry in this design, and that's why we designed it the way we did. It's just a cool look, and it even looks better when you're wearing it. So again, the uniqueness of not only the turquoise, but the rarity of the Spiny Oyster. And Spiny, to tell you the truth, to be able to get this real clear color like this and not have, because, you know, when they call it Spiny, it is, I mean, it's like they should call it porcupine oyster. I've drawn a lot of blood.
They got to call it owie oyster. Owie oyster.
Well, I have to tell you, I have drawn a lot of my blood has been donated handling Spiny Oyster.
There's a lot of your blood left on that beach many years ago, down wherever you were. All right, so blood, sweat, and tears, literally blood for sure. I know a lot of sweat and tears too, occasionally, right, Jay?
Yeah, well, you know, but it brings back so many fond memories. Every time I see that material, I get all these crazy flashbacks.
Yeah, that's fun. I think on your wild and crazy days, Jay, we know.
They still look wild and crazy.
Well, they are.
Actually, I think that's the word. We're about the whole thing. It says nothing's changed. It's still hits, you know. I wake up and I think, when is this going to be over? You know.
He still does crazy stuff. He is a crazy motorcyclist, by the way. If y'all didn't know that, he flies planes, he drives motorcycles like a madman, like he's nuts. All right, so here's what we're doing. By the way, I probably forgot, but we do have the matching earrings. Sorry if I didn't mention. I hope you saw them. Sterling silver, got a little shepherd's hook on them, really little fun drops. They'll work back with the big oyster one that we featured a moment ago, and obviously they're designed to match back to that cute little necklace we just featured. They're $59.95, and again, 5 flex on all jewelry for several days during our big Tucson event. And this is the first day of it. Okay, we have something really cool that you can do. And I think Jay's a great example to talk about this with. If you'd like to be, let's say you want to know when Jay's going to be on. Maybe you're watching this for the first time and you're like, okay, this is some great stuff. Maybe you bought a couple pieces, right? And you say, gosh, I'd like to see his next show. I really don't want to miss it. Well, what you do is you want to sign up for what's called Win to Watch. And it's pretty easy to do. You go online and you type in Win to Watch, or you just go online, go to hsn.com. Then you're going to go to your preference page and you're going to sign up on your emails to your favorite brand. And we've got tons of brand, but especially if it's like Jay and you don't want to miss out. So you just update your communications preference and then you select Jay King. And then we're going to alert you to when Jay's going to be here. So if you are new to the show, or if you watched Jay 100 million times, that's a great way to be alerted to when he's going to be here next, because you don't want to ever miss a cool show like this. All right, so here's what we're doing. Coming up, I actually have tanzanite. Personally, one of my favorite gemstones in the